Dame Dash has been talking about putting your own money up for years and years and years.
I put up my own money. All these so-called moguls y'all talking about, you name one of them that put their own dough up. A boss, you're only the boss if you put up your own money. If you don't put up your own money, I don't care how much somebody gives you, you're nothing but a supervisor.
But it's one person that comes up under that tree of Dame Dash, and that is Cameron. And he has been putting his own money up for years. Listen to him as he breaks it down about the process of him putting his own money up. Check it out.
I like to fund my own stuff because I don't like people telling me what to do. Once Hollywood gets involved, they put their money up, they're gonna sit there and say, well, we think it should go like that, or we think it should go like this. And I'm like, this is my vision. How are you gonna tell me how my vision should go? So I like to pay for my own stuff, take it to them, and flip it that way. I don't like nobody giving me money, because you have to listen to partners and get their input, so on and so forth. So for the last probably 15, 20 years, I haven't had partners on anything because it's my vision. I don't need you telling me how my vision should work.
And with his latest success story, It Is What It Is, proves that his vision and what he wanted to do proves that if he put his own money up, he could come up with his own success story without anybody interfering with it. Just listen to him as he breaks it down about his latest success. It is what it is.
The one thing that we did want to do to compete is have consistency. So if we're going to compete against SportsCenter, we need to be 5 days a week. If we're going to compete against First Take, if we're going to compete against The Herd, all these top sports shows, we need to be 5 days a week. And now on YouTube, as far as morning shows are concerned, during our time period, we're not on linear television, but just YouTube, the only show that's beating us with numbers is First Take. Like, we're ahead of SportsCenter during the time that we come on.
Come on, give it up for that, man. Come on, give it up for that, man.
And by him able to create his own vision without any interference with Hollywood or any major players that's trying to take over his vision, he was able to succeed anyway because he was able to be consistent and have his own vision by putting his own money up. Now, we're going to get into a little masterclass about this because we're going to give you 3 reasons why you have to create your own vision. Because creating your own vision will lead you down to that path of success. Check it out.
This guy, Cameron, created a show called It Is What It Is and basically just decided to skip trying to get it on in Hollywood.
Wow.
He just funded the whole thing himself.
Yeah.
And guess what? The show is blowing up.
That's amazing.
It really makes you stop and think, about what we could all achieve if we really took ownership of our ideas and passions. What do you think?
Oh, totally. I mean, that's kind of what the source material dives into right from the start. It's all about authenticity. If you're the one calling the shots, you can stay true to your values, your passions, all of that. You don't have to bend to what other people want or expect. And I think that makes a huge difference in what you end up creating.
Oh, for sure. Because, if you're constantly getting pushed to change things or make them fit some sort of mold, to appeal to a certain audience or whatever, don't you think you end up losing what made your project special in the first place?
Absolutely. I mean, the source specifically mentions that Cameron's show actually avoids a lot of those common tropes and cliches you see in a lot of mainstream shows. And that's actually a big part of why it feels so different to viewers. It's like a real freshness to it. And I think that's because he was able to make the show he wanted to make.
I see what you mean. It's genuine, right?
Yeah.
And the video goes on to say how important creative freedom is, especially when you're working independently. It's like the whole world of creativity just opens up when there are no limits on what you can explore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. That's where the real innovation happens. Think about some of the most groundbreaking things out there, whether it's art or music or film. They often come from creators who weren't afraid to push the boundaries, break the mold, If those creators had let someone else control their vision, who knows what we might have missed out on.
That's a really good point. It really gets you thinking about all the amazing projects that might never get made because the creators didn't have the freedom to pursue their vision. Let's think about it this way. Imagine you had complete creative freedom, no restrictions at all. What kind of project would you be working on?
That's a tough one. But I think for me, it would be something that really brings together different types of art. Maybe like a live performance that mixes visual art, music, and technology to tell a story you couldn't tell any other way.
Wow, that sounds incredible. Okay, for me, I think I'd want to really dig deep into some historical event. Something that's been kind of overlooked or misunderstood and presented in a way that's both informative, but also like really human and relatable. But hey, all of this ties into that last benefit the source material brings up, that feeling of deep, long-term fulfillment you get from going after something that truly resonates with you.
Oh, 100%. It's not about following trends or trying to get approval from others. It's about creating something that really reflects who you are, what you care about, and what you want to put out into the world.
Right. And the video even goes so far as to say that Cameron's success might be because his own passion is so obvious in the show. It's like viewers can feel that authenticity, and that makes them connect with it on a deeper level.
It's pretty amazing, right? Cameron's story kind of wraps up all three of these core benefits perfectly. His authenticity is clear to see. He had the freedom to make the show exactly how he wanted, and it seems like he's really fulfilled by the whole experience.
Yeah, it's definitely inspiring. So, to recap, authenticity, creative freedom, and long-term fulfillment. These are the things that drive us to create our own vision.
And you never know, those might be the keys to unlocking creative potential we didn't even know we had.
Exactly. So I think we'll leave you with a question to ponder. What's just one tiny step, even a really small one, that you could take today to start moving towards a project or idea that truly reflects who you are?
It's something to really think about.
It is, and I hope it sparks some ideas for everyone listening. Remember, every single amazing thing that's ever been created started with a single step.
And the path to success is one step at a time. One step at a time, one step in front of the other. And both of these individuals, Dame Dash and Cameron, come from the same area, Harlem, New York. The Mecca. New York is the Mecca. And it is what it is. It is the Mecca. It is considered the place to go for massive success in any field that you want to partake on. But the thing about these two is each one had a path to success. And some will argue that one may be more successful than the other. But we're going to dive into Cameron a little bit on his path and what made him successful and still relevant to this day on the positive end. So let's take a little dive into why Cameron is so relevant today. The proof is in the pudding. Check it out.
You know, Cameron's impact on the culture, undeniable. Like, if you dig a little deeper into both of their careers, it's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
So we're going to break this down, I think, by looking at three main things: musical legacy, adaptability, and how they each built their brand. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Yeah, let's start with the music. I mean, obviously, right? So the source is talking about Cameron having this massive catalog and how it really impacted the world of hip hop. Could you unpack that a little bit for us?
Yeah, so Cameron's style, it's so unique, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that really sets him apart is his lyrical creativity. It's like he's always playing with words, you know? Yeah. Those metaphors, his storytelling, even his comedic timing in his rhymes.
Yeah.
It's all part of what makes his voice so distinct. Like, think about Purple Haze, for example. That track Down and Out with Kanye West.
Oh, yeah.
That's not just a song. That's like a whole sonic picture of Harlem, you know? Like, you can feel it, right? The production and the lyrics.
Yeah.
They all come together to create this, like, vivid atmosphere. And that's a hallmark of his work, you know, being able to transport the listener.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Purple Haze, speaking of, I mean,
classic.
That's a classic album.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Alongside Kill a Season, the source mentions those as like these pivotal moments in his career.
For sure. And they both show just how versatile he is. Like, you got Kill a Season with that hard street edge.
Yeah.
And then you got Purple Haze. It's more introspective, more experimental. It's constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Which is so crucial for staying power, you know, in any creative field.
Totally. It makes me think about how much the music industry has changed, especially since the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Cameron was right there in the middle of it all.
He was.
And he's still relevant today.
Mm-hmm.
And that adaptability is something so many people, you know,
Struggle with.
totally struggle with. So how do you think he's been able to stay current?
Well, I think he's been really smart with collaborations, working with both big names and up-and-coming artists.
Right.
So he's kind of bridging those different generations of hip-hop.
Right.
Plus, he's embraced social media, you know, using those platforms to connect with fans, stay in the conversation. It's like he's cracked the code of staying relevant.
Like he's a case study or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty inspiring, honestly.
Totally.
Okay, so let's talk about branding for a minute.
Okay.
The source mentioned Cameron's moves outside of music, specifically fashion and film. How do you think those things have played into his overall success?
So his style right off the bat,
Yeah.
iconic, bold colors, that flamboyant personality.
Yeah.
It's had a huge impact on streetwear trends. Like, remember that pink fur coat?
Oh, yeah.
That became a cultural moment.
Yeah.
And then there's his acting. You know, he's got this natural charisma that just works on screen.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not even just about, the clothes he wears or the roles he plays.
Right.
It's more about cultivating this persona.
Right, exactly.
That goes beyond just one thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has to be deliberate.
Oh, absolutely. Cameron understands how to build a brand that's bigger than just his music.
Yeah.
Like, it's multifaceted, it connects with people on all these different levels.
Right. So how does all of this compare to Dame Dash? I mean, he's a legend too.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Co-founded Rockefeller Records, helped launch so many careers, built this amazing empire.
Yeah, Dame is a visionary. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And his influence on hip hop, massive. He had a knack for spotting talent,
Yeah.
business savvy. He really helped shape the sound and the culture of a whole era.
For sure. So where do you see the biggest difference between them? Like, what makes people say Cameron might be more successful?
I think it comes down to longevity and how strong their individual brands are.
Okay.
Dame's legacy is really tied to Rockefeller,
Yeah.
which is incredible, but Cameron has kept evolving as a solo artist, as a
Right.
personality. He's stayed relevant, visible,
Yeah.
influential over a longer period of time.
That's a great point. It really makes you think about the different ways to be successful.
Yeah.
And how staying power can really play a huge role.
Totally.
So after this whole deep dive, after this whole comparison, do you think Cameron is more successful?
I don't think it's a simple yes or no.
Okay.
They both accomplish incredible things.
Right.
But I think what this really highlights is the importance of adapting,
Yeah.
building a brand that goes beyond one specific thing. Right?
Yeah.
It's about always evolving, staying connected to your audience no matter what you do.
Right. Yeah. Makes you think about what success really looks like over the long term. Right. I mean, Cameron's journey is really inspiring, constantly reinventing himself, but staying true to himself at the same time.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, hey, thanks for diving into this with us.
Yeah, this is great.
And in closing, these two have been very supportive of each other, publicly and privately. They have been very supportive of each other over the years. Dame Dash is proud of what Cam has done, and Cam has been open about learning from Dame. This is a great time for anybody to find success by creating your own path and putting your own resources up to find your own vision and to create your own vision without the help of the big names. This is a great time to do it. Like, share, subscribe. We out.